Today I'm counting down my top 10 players of all time. Hello, my name's Nathan, and as I said, we'll be counting down the greatest to ever do it. So let's get right into it. Starting our list off at number 10, we have Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt has put up some of the most crazy stat lines the league has ever seen with his 100-point game, his 78-point game, and his 273-point games, and his... I think you get the point. Over his career, he averaged 30.1 points per game, 22.9 rebounds per game, and 4.4 assists per game. The Hall of Famer would have ranked higher on this list, but since a lot of his seasons were spent putting up empty stat lines and constantly losing to Bill Russell, which caused him quite a few problems in the playoffs. Due to that, the Big Dipper comes in at number 10 for me. The two-time champion, two-time Finals MVP, Hall of Famer, and in my opinion, one of the most underrated players of all time, Hakeem Olajuwon. Over his amazing career, he averaged 21.8 points per game, 11.1 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists per game, 3.1 blocks per game, and 1.7 steals per game. When making this list, Hakeem and Wilt were very close for the number 9 and 10 spots respectively, but Hakeem's defense and the more competitive NBA he played in ultimately put him over the top in my books. Not only being only one of two players to win the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same year, but even Michael Jordan, the other player to accomplish this feat, didn't win Finals MVP in the same season, but Olajuwon did. And that's why the Dream ranks in at number 9 for me. 11 rings, 5 MVPs, Hall of Famer, Bill Russell comes in at my number 8 spot for being one of the toughest defensive bigs the league has ever seen. You can tell this by his career averages of 15.1 points per game, 22.5 rebounds per game, and 4.3 assists per game. Sadly, during the time that Bill Russell played, blocks and steals weren't recorded. However, he did lead the league in rebounds 4 times over his career. And I think that the 11 championships, 8 of them in a row, prove how dominant the Celtics were with Bill Russell leading the way. Heck, he even won so many championships they named the Finals MVP after him. And that's why Bill comes in at number 8 for me. And coming in at our number 7 spot, the Big Diesel, Superman, the Great Aristotle, the Shaqtus, I think you get it. Of course, I'm talking about the big fella, Shaquille O'Neal, the 7-1, 4-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, and 1999-2000 League MVP. Over his dominant career, he averaged 23.7 points per game, 10.9 rebounds per game, 2.5 assists per game, and 2.3 blocks per game. He's also a 15-time All-Star, 14-time member of the All-NBA, and an inductee of the Hall of Fame. One of the most unstoppable forces the NBA has ever seen. And so much so that the league had to allow zone defenses again to just give a team a chance to stop him. And that's why, to me, the Big Diesel comes in at number 7. And coming in at number 6 is 3-time champion, 3-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, and Hall of Famer, Larry Legend. Larry Bird is one of the greatest trash talkers the league has ever seen due to the fact that he could always back it up with career averages of 24.3 points per game, 10.0 rebounds per game, 6.3 assists per game, and 1.7 steals per game. Also the maker of an amazing Celtics dynasty alongside Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. And a 12-time All-Star and a 10-time member of the All-NBA team. Not to mention one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen, which in his peak form he averaged 29.9 points per game. Larry dominated the league, especially with his ongoing rivalry with the Los Angeles Lakers and Magic Johnson going on. And speaking of Magic Johnson, the conductor of Showtime, Magic Johnson, comes in at our number 5 spot. He's a 3-time MVP, 5-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, and a Hall of Famer. In the course of his illustrious career, he averaged 19.5 points per game, 7.2 rebounds per game, 11.2 assists per game, and 1.9 steals per game. And with his ongoing rivalry with Larry Bird and the Celtics, it gave the league a show like no other. However, Magic did win more of the 37 games that him and Bird played in, including both regular season and playoff. That's why the 12-time All-Star and 10-time member of the All-NBA team ranks in at number 5 for me. The Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant, an elite assassin from both sides of the ball. 5-time champion and 2-time finals MVP. So dominant that he was a scoring champion twice and a member of the all-defensive team 12 times. His work ethic, unmatched by anyone in his time, proved by crazy stories like going on a 40-mile bike ride during Team USA just to go straight back to the gym to get more work in. Or his rookie season, when he shows up to practice 2 hours early just to shoot in a completely dark gym. This legendary work ethic got Kobe to 18 All-Star games, 4 of which he was the MVP, and 15 All-NBA teams. Over his deadly career, he averaged 25.0 points per game, 5.2 rebounds per game, 4.7 assists per game, and 1.4 steals per game. All of this makes Kobe one of the most complete and accomplished NBA players the league has ever seen, and to many, the most inspirational and hardworking. And that's why, to me, he comes in at our number 4 spot. And coming in at our number 3 spot, most points ever scored over a whole career. 6 championships, 6 MVPs, 2 finals MVPs, and a Hall of Famer. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a 19-time All-Star, 15-time member of the All-NBA, and 4-time blocks leader. Over his dominant career, he averaged 24.6 points per game, 11.2 rebounds per game, 3.6 assists per game, and 2.6 blocks per game. However, in Cap's most dominant season, 1971 to 1972, he averaged 34.8 points per game, 16.6 rebounds per game, and 4.6 assists per game. And again, blocks and steals weren't recorded during that time. However, during the first season that they were allowed, Cap averaged 3.5 blocks per game, so that can give you an idea of his defensive prowess. And along the way, he defeated many greats such as Wilt Chamberlain and Larry Bird. And to me, that's why Cap comes in at number 3. The chosen one, the Akron Hammer, King James. LeBron comes in at my number 2 for being a 4-time MVP, 3-time champion, and 3-time finals MVP. And even though his career isn't done yet, LeBron will undoubtedly be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he, in my opinion, is the most complete all-around player we've ever seen. And over his astounding career, he averaged 25.7 points per game, 7.9 rebounds per game, 10.6 assists per game, and 1.2 steals per game. LeBron has made history in so many ways, such as beating the Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden Thunder, to beating the Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Kawhi Spurs. Not to mention completing one of the most amazing comebacks in sports history, where LeBron led the Cleveland Cavaliers back from a 3-1 deficit against the Golden State Warriors. He could end up at number 1 at the end of his career, but for right now, this is where he ranks for me. And coming in at number 1, His Airness, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. 6 rings, 6 finals MVPs, 5 MVPs, and a member of the Hall of Fame. 6-0 in the finals, 14-time All-Star, 11-time member of the All-NBA team, Defensive Player of the Year. Now that I've caught my breath, he's also a 10-time scoring champion, 9-time member of the All-Defensive team, and a 3-time steals champion, beating legends like Isaiah Thomas, Magic Johnson, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Shawn Kemp, Gary Payton, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Not to mention over his amazing career, he averaged 30.1 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, 5.3 assists per game, and 2.3 steals per game, averaging over 30 points per game 8 times in his career. Not to mention being one of the most hardworking and competitive players the league has ever seen, treating every practice like a Game 7 and reprimanding all of his teammates if they didn't do the same. And that's why MJ is the greatest player of all time. What do you think of iList? Who's in your top 10? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you're notified when my newest video comes out. Thanks again for watching. I'm Nathan, and I'll see you next time.